you so much, Christina. Our next guest feels that Wall Street protesters are angry at the wrong people.
His name is David Moore, and he just wrote an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal. It's getting a lot of attention. He says President Obama is responsible for class warfare in America right now. And he told the story about how he and his friends were approached by a panhandler. Let's put up a quote from the article. Our friend Mr. Moore always offers $1, usually, or some money when a panhandler approaches. He offered him $1, and this was the man's reaction as related by David Moore.
That's right. The man shouted, "You Wall Street fat cats. This is what the protester...
This is what the problem is with the country. Take your damn $1. With that, he threw it on the sidewalk. Apparently, street charity now has a minimum. David Moore, welcome. What's your job? What do you do full-time?
I'm an entrepreneur. I own a few businesses and do some investing, etc., that kind of thing. But mainly, I'm a businessman.
Are you a Wall Street fat cat?
I'm not a Wall Street fat cat.
Your piece says you think that President Obama is essentially responsible for this kind of mentality that you experienced with this panhandler.
You know, look, he's the communicator-in-chief, right? I mean, he's on the air all the time. And the rhetoric that's been coming out of Washington, you know, coming out of Obama, has been very disappointing. You know, this is, I mean, he as I said in the article, he owns that phrase, fat cats. He isn't the first person that ever said it, but once he said it, it was his phrase. And, you know, he's gone bad on big pharmaceutical. He's gone bad on big oil. He's gone bad on the billionaires and billionaires. How long can you say that as a charismatic commander-in-chief and have people not react to it?
You know, panhandlers, you know, may not have, you know, the greatest disposition mentally, and you never know what kind of reaction you're going to get from them on the street. So do you think he's typical? Is this, I mean, like, you know, you give a guy $1 and he starts, you know, talking back to you.
You know, look, all I can say is, you know, I've probably given out money on the street. They say you're not supposed to do it, but, you know, I do it, and so do many people that I know. And in my conversations, nobody could recite one single time in New York when the panhandler has thrown the money down on the street, and this is what the problem is, whatever. Now, this is one incident. Let's not go carried away.
Right.
But it prompted the thinking of where does the rhetoric from a panhandler of Wall Street fat cats, this is what the problem is with America. Yeah. There's too much of that conversation going on.
But, sir, a lot of people are genuinely upset with Wall Street fat cats. I mean, in 2008, the country was almost destroyed by these crazy derivatives and mortgage-backed securities. We came this close to the brink. Chuck Schumer, Hank Paulson, bipartisan agreement. We almost lost it collectively. And who really was to blame there, sir? Perhaps Washington for allowing these things to happen, but did Wall Street have some role in that?
Look, look, it's a complicated issue. Wall Street has culpability.
They had to be bailed out with billions of taxpayer money, and they still give themselves bonuses. So, the president has tapped into real frustration about that.
And what he's doing is he's fomenting that frustration, and he's adding fuel to the fire of the frustration, and it's not good for the country. Look at what's going on down now. Look at what's going on down in Wall Street right now. There's crowds there. There's no leadership. There's no leadership, by the way, on the side of the crowd, and there's no leadership coming from the federal government. I mean, you know what leadership would be? Obama should speak to these people and not foment their anger, but he should say, look, there is a lot of frustration now. We have to find solutions. Where are the solutions?
That's essentially what he said last week. That's essentially what he said last week.
That's not what I've heard.
I kind of feel like it's a little hypocritical of the president to talk about fat cats when he comes here and takes their money at you know, various fundraisers once a month in New York City.
Look, somehow he gets away with it in a sense, but I think the lack of leadership, the lack of clarity, and you know, the Wall Street fuels a lot of the economy. Is it perfect?
Sure.
No. Should there be some regulation? Yes. Is it overregulated now? Maybe. But look, this is not about policy. My point on this is about style and leadership. And as I say in the article, and say in this op-ed piece, I don't remember in my lifetime, you know, presidents have faced opposition in Congress forever, right? That's the way the government worked. President Clinton, after 2 years, lost all of Congress. Does anybody remember him engaging in the kind of class warfare rhetoric that Obama is now and the Democrats are now?
Well, for a long time, but for a long time, people it was okay. We'll tax the rich. The rich should pay their fair share. That stuff has been with us, you know, for a pretty long time. What I've heard President Obama say is, hey, if you want to make money, that's great. But if we, the federal government, are giving you that money, we should have some say in how it's spent. Particularly when it comes to these bonuses, to these insanely exorbitant bonuses.
Look, this is a free market economy. It's capitalism. There are some excesses. And again, I'm not defending that at all. This is strictly an issue of what is the president doing to reach across the aisle? What is the president doing to find solutions? And by scapegoating is the most dangerous form of leadership. We've seen it around the world for centuries. And that, to me, that's what's going on right now. And that's not a leadership style. That is a dangerous approach, and I think Obama is going to end up paying for it unless he changes his tune.
One thing I always felt bad about, actually, he would criticize the private jets. The private jets that executives use, and I would think about the people at Teterboro Airport, the wrench turners, the people who sell those jets, the people who actually work on them.
Right. Those are jobs.
They are jobs, and it's not just the chieftain in the back, it's the pilot in the front, it's the stewardess, it's a lot of
Greg,
things.
That's exactly the point. I got an email.
I was uncomfortable when he went off on that.
I got an email yesterday from a friend of mine I haven't spoken to in 20 years. She works at a pharmaceutical company. She wrote me her own op-ed piece about how frustrating it is being a middle manager in a pharmaceutical company when she feels that Obama has just been bashing Big Pharma for years. How about after 2008 when he said nobody should go to Las Vegas? What about the people? So this is his knee-jerk reaction, and it's bad leadership.
Did you get a lot of response yesterday from your op-ed piece?
I got hundreds of emails. They said that they had 4 or 5 times the number of blog posts on the Wall Street Journal. So I definitely struck a chord. And, you know, I would say the vast majority, what are people going to say to me? The vast majority were positive. Even my most liberal friends, who I often joust with, wrote me and said, you know, I think you're right. The rhetoric is bad, and the class warfare aspect of that. And they, you know, Obama would say, I'm not engaged in class warfare, but, you know, if enough people feel that, it's time to start making some changes.
I know that you're very philanthropic and you give to many, many organizations. Will you continue to give to panhandlers over
Absolutely.
the street?
Again, it's dangerous to do that. It's dangerous. I did it once. I had a very bad experience. I saw a woman get stabbed once in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
You know, I do it because, you know, they say that, you know, look, there's plenty of places for people to get food, etc. Maybe this is going to be the one person who really does need the food at that moment. So for the $1 or the $2 that I may give somebody, you know, I generally do it. You know, I know they say not to, but what can I say? So.
All right.
David Moore, it's nice to see you on Good Day New York.
We're going to put a link to your op-ed on our website, myfoxny.com.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we'll head on Good Day New York.